silence for surrender. There are no apologies here because I don't argue loud. I simply elevate my presence. I stay 10 toes down because that is my essence. The room gets quiet when I step in and the energy shifts with no second guessing. Growing up with a cold wind teaches you who to trust, so I don't reach out, I move clean and I don't overspeak. Respect comes first, and that is the sequel. People confuse being cool with being passive until the baseline hits and I become reactive. I don't flex like I'm active. The concrete raised me to be adaptive.
Welcome to a behind-the-scenes look at one of my favorite recent DIY adventures. There is something truly magical about taking flat sheets of paper and transforming them into a three-dimensional work of art. Today, I am walking you through how I created a stunning giant paper flower from scratch. This project was an absolute blast to put together. From start to finish, the entire process took about 2 hours. While that might sound like a long time for one flower, the result is a massive, high-impact piece of decor that looks like it belongs in a professional studio. I have to admit, I feel incredibly lucky to finally have my plotter. If you have ever tried to hand-cut dozens of intricate curves, you know how exhausting it can be. Using a cutting machine for a project like this is a total game changer. It ensures every petal is uniform and precise, which is the secret to getting that perfect, symmetrical bloom. Let's dive into the 6 steps I took to bring this giant flower to life. Step 1. Prepare your petal templates. The foundation of any great paper flower is the shape and scale of the petals. For this specific design, I used 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. To get the fullness I wanted, I prepared 18 petals in total. This broke down to exactly 6 petals for each size. Using the plotter, I was able to maximize my cardstock and ensure that the curves were smooth. If you're doing this at home, remember that the size difference between your small and large petals determines how much the flower will open up. Step 2. Cut and prep the petal bases. Once the 18 petals were cut, it was time to give them some structure. At the bottom center of every single petal, I cut a small vertical slit about 2 inches long. This is a crucial step because it allows you to overlap the 2 bottom flaps. By gluing one flap over the other, you change the petal from a flat piece of paper into a cupped, 3-dimensional shape. This tiny adjustment is what gives teeth. Step 3. Shape and curl for realism. Before we start gluing everything together, we need to add some personality. Real flowers aren't perfectly flat, so I took a wooden dowel and curled the top edges of every petal. For the large outer petals, I curled the edges outward to mimic a blooming flower. For the smaller inner petals, I gave them a tighter curl to create a more bud-like appearance. Taking the time to do this makes the paper look less like a craft project and more like a botanical sculpture. Step 4. Assemble the outer layers. Assembly begins from the outside in. I started by taking my 6 largest petals and arranging them in a circle to form the base layer. Using a heavy-duty adhesive, I secured them to a circular cardboard base. Once the large petals were set, I moved on to the 6 medium petals. I staggered these, placing them in the gaps between the large petals. This layering technique ensures there are no holes in your flower and creates a lush, dense look. Step 5. Create the flower center. Every flower needs a beautiful center to tie it all together. For this, I moved away from the petal shapes and focused on the interior details. I cut long, thin strips of paper and used my plotter to create a fringe effect along the entire length. Once the strips were cut, I rolled them up tightly and fanned out the fringe. This creates a textured, pom-pom style center that hides all the glue points from the petals and adds a pop of contrasting detail to the heart of the bloom. Step 6. Final assembly and detail work. The final step is the most rewarding. I glued the 6 smallest petals into the very center of the medium layer, tilting them inward to create a deep cut. Finally, I placed my fringe centerpiece right in the middle. After a quick bit of fluffing and adjusting the curls on the outer edges, the giant flower was complete. It is amazing what you can accomplish with a bit of patience and the right tools. Seeing those 18 individual pieces of paper come together